Hey everybody, my name is Malika Grant, and this is My Gin Nation. This is my project where I take you on a taste tour of some of South Africa's contemporary gins. There are 50 licensed distilleries in South Africa right now, and 170 distilleries awaiting licensing in the country. Gin in South Africa is hot, and for good reason. This is some of the most fantastic gin that you will ever taste, mainly because of the botanicals and the florals that are very unique to this part of the world. So today we are going to be reviewing one of my favorite gins, Inverroche. But before we get to that, I want to tell you a little bit about my history with gin. I don't have a long history with gin. My family grew up mostly drinking beer and whiskey because my dad is from West Africa and we're big beer drinkers, and my maternal grandparents are from Kentucky, so huge whiskey drinkers. Like, they love dark liquor. So I never really grew up around even an awareness of gin until I heard that one Snoop song, you know, the one we're talking about.
Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
And then once again, when I got on a Kalula flight, when I was going to have brain surgery. So this is really key, and we'll talk about that soon. So on this Kalula flight, there was an in-flight magazine, and it featured a handful of the top gins in South Africa that were really, really hot at the time. And it was just a point of interest to me. But what I really loved about that article was how beautiful the packaging was. And I'd never really thought of alcohol or distilled spirits as a thing of beauty. I really just thought about it as a tool to get drunk. But that's what I think I love so much about gin, is that it is an entire experience. It's not just an adult beverage, but it's an experience that that really touches all 5 of your senses, which I absolutely love. So when I first started getting interested in gin, I asked around and I asked my beauty therapist if she drank gin, and incidentally, she did. So while she's ripping out the hair from my nether region.
Oh, wow! I hate you! I hate you! Stop smiling, you jerk!
She's telling me about this fantastic brand called Inverroche. And Inverroche is the very first South African gin that I ever tasted. And incidentally, Inverroche is the undisputed queen of gin in South Africa. It is a globally recognized gin. It's world-renowned, it's award-winning, and the name Inverroche is very unique. It comes from the Gaelic word inver, which means confluence of water, and roche, which means rock in French. The owner and CEO of this company is Lorna Scott, and her distillery is actually based in Stilbaai, which is about an hour away from George, where I live. So I've actually been fortunate enough to visit Inverroche. I went there last year and I went on their gin tour, and it's an amazing facility. If you're ever in South Africa, I highly, highly recommend going out there. So her story is pretty interesting. She actually has been through she's gone through several changes in life, right? She's been a flight attendant. She was the mayor of Hesekwa. She was the mayor of Stilbaai. And then eventually she got interested in distilling spirits and, you know, just really making use of the unique botanicals and the florals that exist in the Western Cape region, particularly the Fynbos. So today we are going to taste the gin, and we are going to make a cocktail, and we are going to reimagine our own cocktail. Now, the thing I love about Inverroche, what I didn't know until I did this project, is that on the back of every single bottle, they give you a recipe that you can follow. So if you are new to gin and tonics and gin drinking, they take the guesswork out of it. And so on this particular bottle, they have a really cool recipe that says, start with Indian tonic over ice, garnish it with rose petals, a sprig of orange buchu, pomegranate seeds, and an almond macaroon or a strawberry tool on the side. And that sounds all very delicious to me. So with this particular bottle that I'm sharing with you today, This is from their creative collection, which is a limited edition. This no longer exists on shelves, and when I found that out, I quickly grabbed 2 bottles. So this is one for me to drink, and this one is for me to keep as a keepsake. So as you can see, the gin is clear when it first starts out, and there is a pinking essence that comes in this cute little capsule here. And when you pour it into the gin, it takes on this lovely blush color. So I mentioned that I had brain surgery, and when I, was on this flight. So I had brain surgery, and after my surgery, during my surgery, my surgeon had to make a choice. They were like,
help! Oh! What? A minute ago you said blue.
Does this girl want to walk, or does she want to be able to smell? Because after my MRI, or during my MRI rather, he wasn't able to tell that there was an artery feeding this tumor that I'd had for 10 years. So, as you can see, I'm standing up, but I cannot smell. So I rely on other people to tell me, what scents are happening around me. One of the things that I miss most is the smell of, what's the name of that white flower, babe? Starts with a J. One of the things I miss most is the scent of jasmine here in South Africa during the summer months. It's such a perfumey, beautiful scent. So because I cannot smell this gin for myself, I have to rely on family and friends to perform that olfactory work for me. So I have a special guest today, a special helper, who's going to help me right now. As I said, I can't smell a thing, not a daggum thing. So I have got my handy dandy husband here to help me to, don't you love that sound? I'm gonna do it again. Love that sound. Handy dandy husband who is going to do my smelling for me. And so, babe, take a whiff of that. What do you get hints of? Roses. Just roses.
Ginger.
Ginger. Anything else? You want to take another sniff? You sure? You got it? Okay. So the botanicals in this particular gin are pelargonium. Definitely, it's rose pelargonium. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Cherry blossoms, strawberry. Did you get any of that? And cocoa capensis. I'm sure that's a special, yeah, cherry blossoms. Thanks, babe. My husband doesn't drink, but I do. So now we're gonna take a little sip of this and see if I can taste some of those notes that he was talking about. Let's see. Ooh, wee. I definitely taste rose because I've had rose water before. So I can taste the roses in there. I can taste juniper and ginger. Yeah, and ginger, that's what I'm tasting. I don't know what cocoa capensis is. I don't even know what it looks like, but I imagine I'm tasting that too. Thanks, babe, I appreciate it. All right. Y'all ready to have some fun? Let's make a cocktail. Okay, so today we are going to use the recipe provided by Inverroche. And so we will begin with pomegranate seeds. And the foundation of any good gin drink is ice. So ideally, you want to get some pretty ice, but because of e-budget, we are using ice from Tops. I learned from the boba shop that good ice is the foundation for any exceptional drink. Like I said, we're just using Spa brand ice because that's what we have. Maybe in the future, when the budget grows, we can have that globular ice. We'll see, who knows. And then to our pomegranates and ice, we will now add Fever Tree tonic water. Ooh, isn't that a pretty sound? And 3 ounces of our Cocoa Cape and Cis gin. And just FYI, this is 43% ABV. That's the percentage of alcohol that's in here. So 3 ounces, what I do is I just count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And to top it off, I'm just adding in some edible flowers just to give it, you know, that little extra bit of bouginess. I think that's good. Isn't that gorgeous? Now it's time to take a sip. Let's see. You know, on TV, when, you know, they're tasting their food and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. This is one of the best drinks I've ever had. I've heard a lot about tonic water. I usually just use soda water because I'm like, I just want it to be sparkly, who cares? But this adds a different level. This is Fever Tree elderflower tonic water that I'm using in this gin and tonic today. And I feel so grown up. I feel so special right now. Oh my gosh. Definitely do this at home. Try this at home, kids.